this video was originally going to be the anniversary video, like like the 2nd year anniversary. It was going to be for that, but my voice is shot. I didn't like the original versions, and I kind of want to do something different. And because I wanted to do something different, I wasn't fully sure of what I wanted. But I think I'm going to talk about like a more serious topic every so often, whenever I need to. And I think I know which one I want to talk about today. I want to talk about friendship and friends, because you know what, man? I got a lot of history with that idea and everything. I got a lot of history with friends and wow. I have a lot of history with friends and friendship. It's all slightly negative. We'll get into it because I'm kind of like lost right now. So like I was thinking about giving like a full history, but that ended up taking over an hour just to get to that point. So instead, I'm just gonna kind of give a brief overview. And I would say that I was somebody who as a kid was very, very shy. And so me getting friends was like not really like easy. I did. I had a couple people in elementary, and then like that kind of grew as I was at the end of elementary. So most of these people, if not every single one, I'm not on speaking terms with, mostly because they either just kind of dipped, just because they were like moving, or just stopped really caring about me as a person. I'm not fully sure how I feel when it comes to like a friend who, you've known for a long time, and they're just kind of not a nice person naturally, just kind of more on the asshole-ish side of things. So that's already tough for them. I regret doing some things where it was kind of like I had to more try and say like, oh, he's not that bad. Like he's not that bad of a guy to the people he was literally just terrorizing for no reason other than because he thought it was funny. And I'm just like, and I don't fuck with that no more. And does that still happen? Yeah. Is it like as horrible as it was in the past? No, but that still doesn't mean that I fuck with it, even if it's not that bad. You know what I mean? It still exists. How to put this? The only girl friends, we're gonna separate those two words. They are two different words. I'll give like a quick little overview of that in of something else in a second. But like, I got a whole thing about like how I feel about romance and love and that feeling, because I fully don't. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't fully understand it. It's a weird thing to say, but it's true. I'll explain what I mean when we get there. When I talk about this, like I'm not gonna go into specifics, but I guess I can go into specifics one time. There was, well, it was like during the pandemic when everybody was inside. I was online. You know what I did during that time when I was online schooling, doing absolutely none of my work? I backed the Friday Night Funkin' Kickstarter. My dad got so pissed at me. He's never gotten that mad in his entire life, except for the time I was crying when I was fighting Cagney Carnation and Cuphead. So those are the only two times he's really ever like fully yelled at me. And then the Common Core Math, fuck Common Core Math. He hates it. I hate it. Everybody hates it. Okay. I wasn't really doing much. It was really just like I was in a server with a couple people who I had met from middle school, which they were cool. One of them ended up being trans eventually, like just kind of discovering, and then found out. It was like, all right, everybody found out. Most people were like, oh, okay, that's sure, doesn't really change anything. And then the guy who was just like trying to just be, I don't know how to say it, in a way like edgy to be edgy for no reason, and like saying bad shit just to her face. It was fucked up. So the trans friend, she, when it came to like dealing with that stuff, she just kind of left the server for a little while, came back expecting a different outcome, but like in a way, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. In a way, it's kind of similar. It might not be the most accurate thing I could say, but it's kind of true. It really took ignoring this guy for a while to really make him understand that, like, oh, wait, am I maybe doing something bad? Yeah, he was. I feel like that's pretty obvious. Like, just doing, like, I don't care if you consider it jokes. Eventually, at what point do you continuously make the jokes? Does it seem like it's not a joke? Because, like, there was another guy that I knew in middle school who, as of right now, turned into a raging phobe-ist, potentially ism of all kinds. Hates everybody equally. Both of the people who, by the time I was in high school, like, I would, okay, consider friends, are both D1 haters for no reason and think it's okay to be that way. And for me, that's not the type of people I want to be around with. Where on earth am I? Like, I don't want to be around D1 haters all the time because then I gotta hear about. Okay, I also don't want to be around D1 hating people who are D1 hating who are also either just wrong or only care about themselves. Because I could go on about this guy, the same guy who was like, being a D1 hater during Discord era, self-centered to the point where he had to tell me when I had finally like opened up to him and told him like, yeah, by the way, you just kind of have completely been ignoring me and my feelings. I had to like kind of slightly crash out at him a little bit. Like he doesn't see my feeling. He doesn't like understand them. And I'm like, how? You can obviously feel emotions because you want to be self-centered all the time. But like, what about me? Like we're friends for a reason. I would say that I'm not a very humble man. I'd say that when I have my moments, I will glaze myself when I need to. But like I will not take every opportunity to glaze myself and put other people above me because I think that's stupid. Really, I know where I stand and I know where other people stand compared to me. They aren't worse than me. They aren't just like lesser people. They're just people and they got their own problems. And so, and I'm not gonna like sit here and try and like change them, like try and fix them because I don't know, they wanna act like an asshole to people all the time or just wanna be like an insufferable. If they wanna be insufferable, that's their problem. I'm not gonna do it for. I'm not gonna holy glaze anybody. Is what I'm trying to say. Like I don't fully hate him, and I don't fully hate like the friends, but I mean like, would I wish that they'd be a little more considerate of people's feelings? I mean, seeing as you couldn't understand somebody you consider your best friend's feelings, and I've been told by him that's happened with other people too. What? You've been this way with other people? That's just not cool. Like inconsiderate of people's feelings. You've done that to other people and you're so casual about that? That's what fucks up. That's what makes me mad. Like how can you be that way? And like when I mean inconsiderate of my feelings, like as a person, as a human being who hangs out with his family more, I didn't have many friends besides him, but I'm not usually a type to either really want to go out, do something, hang out in person all too often. That's kind of changed a little bit. But also, I do in fact make plans with family. My family a lot. I think I might not be the only one. So, when I do that, and this guy is like, hey, wanna hang out? I'm like, no, I can't. Instead of being like, oh, okay. Like, tell me when you can. It's like, why? What do you fuck you mean, why? I just told you. No. I just told you no. And when it comes to why not, I tell them the reason why. I'm just like, I am going out and doing something with my family. Okay. Why? Where? Bitch, you don't need to know. I don't need to give you a 5-page essay on what I am doing in the next 2 seconds. Just accept the fact that I said no, and don't even get me started on the fact that even when I do say no, he's still like, all right, well, I'm coming over anyway. See ya. And then he does. And I'm just like, shit, can't say no. Quite literally, cannot say no and turn him away at the front door, because then I'm going to seem like an asshole. I let it slide. And I've let it slide, but then I crashed out. Not gonna lie, I crashed the fuck out one time. Not at him directly, but like in the nearby vicinity, like screaming so loud you might have been able to hear it from outside my house. Like crash out upon. It's like I don't really crash out, but I'm gonna say it's the crash out of all crash outs for me. It was bad. I was done taking. I was done taking that. So I'm asking here, and I'm kind of like throwing everything out into the wind, just throwing it out to the world because I need a place to vent this out. Is that normal? Is it normal for that? Because I really haven't like. Does that show how many friends I've truly had for more than a year at minimum? 2 years? Like, I haven't really had friends for that long, and so I just kind of thought that was a little normal. I now realize that I don't think it is, so I'd like the input. Is that normal? Please tell me. That whole crash out, I completely stopped talking to him. I gave him the paragraph. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry that I didn't even realize it. And I just had to sit there and think, there is no way you didn't. Because you acknowledged that you do it to other people and to me. So you did know, and that's a blatant lie. And that's fucked up. Don't lie to me. Don't lie. Why are you lying to a friend? Straight to their face. Like, that's crazy. When it comes to trying to make new friends, it's very hard to, because they could all end up being like him, or they could all just end up leaving by the next year. And you know what? Either one, I wouldn't even know what to do in either scenario. I feel like because, like, even though most of the people who I was friends with in my past, like from elementary school, like I never really got to even talk about the other people that like I met during elementary school. Like there were a group of girls who I was friends with. They were very nice, but like haven't talked to them since then. Don't know what they're doing. Don't know how they're doing. Hopefully well. Let me give you a little bit of an explanation. So I'm in high school. Well, not anymore. I was in high school. It's not really that important anymore. Again, I guess it is important to the story a little bit. I think it was like I had recognized somebody. Oh, wait, is that like, I was thinking, oh, wait, is that somebody from elementary? Is that? I can't really tell. Oh, wait, yeah, it is. And I didn't really know what to say to them because it was like, what do you say? You haven't seen somebody for how many years? 8 years, 7 years? What do you say to them? Hey, remember me? Do you know what would happen if I like talked to somebody at all in my normal life? I'd pass out if the situation went horribly wrong. Do you really think I'm gonna go out of my way to tell somebody, remember me? What if they're like, no? Oh, okay, I guess I'm going to completely isolate myself for the rest of my life. So we're gonna fast forward, and the reason, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was gonna go to my prom. The reason why I didn't go was because I was like so pissed at that one friend who was just, you know, kind of, how do you put this, like a little bit, like who just, I didn't like, I don't know how I was supposed to feel. He was just incredibly self-centered, didn't really care about me. I've already said all that. So I didn't want to go with him, or like just as like a friend. I didn't want to. So that's why I didn't go. But also I kind of heard it was a little boring, so I'm glad I didn't really go. But it would have been cool to just go for the, the potential fun story that I could have yapped about. But it's chill. What happened, I didn't really go. I was okay with that. That year, I had kind of explained to him, like, how I felt about that, like that friend from my past. Did I specify who the person was? Like, it was one of the girls I was talking about from elementary. I said that already. But, like, he just, like, casually said, oh, yeah, we talked. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. When did that happen? He was like, yeah, she just, like, casually walked up to me. And then we just started talking. I'm like, oh, okay. Cool. Guess I'm going to go kill myself then. Like, what do you mean? What? Like, what? Not only am I in, like, a one-sided beef with this guy, because I don't even think he fully understands that, like, how I feel. I don't think he ever really will, because I don't think he gives a shit. And you know what I thought it was? I thought it was, like, the other person who was just, like, kind of not really, like, was, like, me. Like, not really social and, like, didn't really understand what to say. But then when I found out that that happened, that changed my opinion completely and just made me kind of realize, oh shit, maybe it isn't that. Maybe it's just that, they don't want to talk to me and they'd rather talk to somebody else who might be seemingly cooler on the surface. Hey, you know what? Um, Fair enough at that point. That was like the day I think I really like gave up even thinking about that person. I was really just kind of like, all right, fully done. Like, there's no real point in trying anymore because that just answered my suspicions very clear. So graduation rolls around, that whole thing goes on. I put Hatsune Miku and Paper Mario on my graduation cap. Fire. It was actually really good. And I kind of forgot to mention it when we were talking about, like, the guy who, you know, just kind of seems to get in every friendship related trauma. He's just kind of the root of all of it at most of the time. And, like, in the Discord server thing, like, there was a situation that happened, like, related to a game, and I'm sorry, what? Guessed the password to, like, a Terraria world that a couple of the people on the server were playing together because, like, you know, each friend group has, like, their own, like, little groups. You know what I mean? So, like, that side of the friend group was playing they were playing a game together. He guessed the password, DCU'd the entire, world, pretty much. For no reason other than because he thought it was funny. GCU means Drill Containment Unit, by the way. Like, completely destroyed the entire world for no reason. He either didn't get blamed for it because it was hard to blame him for anything because he would just, start talking out of his ass and then not get blamed for anything. Or, like, I got framed for it. It was crazy to even think that happened. And so, like, I don't talk to any of those people anymore. It actually was so bad that one person unfriended me on Steam the day after that happened, and when I confronted him about it, someone, by the way, this guy is the guy who was like, who did it, he's chill with, and actually, like, kind of friends with. He just, like, completely ignored that, kind of brushed it aside and said, like, oh, it's, well, and then never refriended me. I was like, what's your damage, bro? It was kind of crazy. And I didn't even do it. And it's never been brought up ever again when it came to stuff like that. I was so confused. And, like, I'm not trying to put words into other people's mouths. I'm not trying to put, like, things that might not have, like, they definitely may or may not have happened. But, like, that just seems like too, like, why unfriend me on Steam of all things? Like, even if I did do it, I'm not gonna do it a second time. That's just, like, I would have reused a bit at that point. So, I mean, like, yeah, it sucks. but pretty much everybody from like from high school and before, I'm not friends with, or at least like at minimum, like with this guy who I consider not the best friend. Um, the bare minimum is like not fully sure how I feel, but more leaning towards not friend. So if you can't tell, I've had a lot of bad issues and bad problems with friends. And so I've just kind of decided to go with the assumption of the right people will come to me at the right time. It's not right now. It's probably not for a while. And it definitely wasn't before. Because most of the old friends either ditched me for other people, were just kind of not good people, turned into not good people. Maybe people do like assholes and hang out with assholes more than hanging out with better people. I don't know. People are weird. People are freaks. Like, I'm not trying to make it sound like an incel, nice guys, finish last type bullshit, because I think I don't like that stuff either. It's stupid. This is just this is just how I've always felt. And we're gonna move on to, we're gonna talk, go back to like the person from high school who like was, who like I hadn't seen in a long time. Um, I always chalked up the feelings that I had to what my mom would say, which is like, you have a crush. But I knew what having a crush meant, even as like a kid. I just never felt it. Like, not for fictional characters, not for real people, especially not for real people. But like, I could say that I just kind of like followed what everybody else did, which is like joke about, like loving Ryan Reynolds during Deadpool. But like, honestly, in a way, I can look at Ryan Reynolds and say that is objectively a good-looking man. It doesn't even need to be on some gay shit. It doesn't need to be. I mean, just because I didn't really feel the romantic attraction then and now, like, whenever I think about her, I don't really think of it in a romantic way. I more so just think to myself, man, I really wish I could have done something to be friends with her, even though that time has already passed. So it's never really been about the like it's never really been about the romantic aspect. It's just been about like, oh man, that seems like a cool person. I would be friends with them. But I know it will never happen because I don't know what to say to them. I mean, I haven't really chalked it up to anything because I don't really want to start self-diagnosing myself, because self-diagnosing is one of the weirder things you can do. Me personally, I'm not really a big fan of doing that, so I won't be doing it. But like, I guess the closest thing that I've noticed is like a twinge of aromanticism, because I wouldn't fully say it's like I feel nothing. I do feel something, I think, but see, I don't fully know. It's just a twinge of it. It's not really all that much, you know. So, um, yeah, that's kind of my opinion on that. If I ask for input from other people because I think it's important. I think I just kind of need it. So there you go. That's what I'm gonna be. That's that's what I'm putting. I'm putting it down. I'm telling you that's how I feel. There you go. I got another little extra story that I forgot to. Whoa! Look at that. So there was there was like, okay, the elementary school era where I was talking about the girls. There were three that I knew. They were all very nice, and I already talked about one of them. And then there was this other girl who I had not talked to since middle school, comparatively. And the reason why was because potentially, most likely, this story. And let me explain. So, hold on. So we were in home ec class one day. We were chilling, we were talking, we were having a good time in home ec, which is like, I don't know, sewing. Class ends. It's a pretty normal class. I leave. I'm going to my next class because I don't want to be late. You know, you got like 3-minute intervals. You don't want to be late. One of her friends comes up to me from behind me and was like, "Hey, I got a question." I was like, "Oh, okay." She was like, "You like so and so, the friend that I was just talking to?" I was like, "Yeah." And the reply to that was, "Like as a friend?" And I said, "Yeah. What else would there be?" Ooh. To really anybody, what else would there be? Is a bad thing to hear from someone you're trying to potentially, because I still don't know if this story even happened, trying to confess your love to. It's the worst thing you could hear. The worst he could say is no. No, the worst he could say is what else is there besides friends. Here's where I come in. Here's where I state my case. Your Honor, I didn't understand love since I was a kid. I just didn't really fully get it. I was so weirded out by people who like would focus on this instead of just like being happy. Like, why are y'all trying to get into some like cheating dramas? Like, that's true. There are people in my middle school who are going through cheating dramas. That's the place right there. I was like, how do people even do that? Never really understood it. So I just kind of stayed away from it. But that is the story of how I think I accidentally rejected a friend who wanted to date me. Do I know if she ever did? Nope. Didn't work out anyway. Haven't really talked to her since, so I wouldn't know. I think she moved out of my classes that I had with her after that. So that's fun to hear, right? That's just a fun little side story that kind of gets added on for fun because, you know, I mean, my stories kind of end there, so don't expect any more silly, lonely man stories. Because you're probably not going to get too many. Now that we're finally, like, getting towards, I would say, an end of this video, I think what I would say about friends and friendships and stuff is really, like, pay attention. Don't do what I did at any points, and don't really, like, try and find people who are nice. Try and find people who are good and are willing to treat you right. Like, don't be an asshole about it. Don't kind of, like, you know what I mean? But, like, also don't let them be the asshole to you. Because, trust me, it sucks when when your entire life you've thought you've had a normal friend, and they ended up just kind of seeming to me like not a good person. Like, I'm not gonna be talking about this all too often, like my friends anymore, but I will, like, maybe make a more in-depth video about like, how I feel about love and stuff like that, because I think I can make a better video on it than what I am doing right now. See ya.